Welcome back, everybody, to In the Loop. What is up, everybody? My name is Michael Burpo. Thanks again for listening to In the Loop. This week, we're going to be talking about TikTok. And for those who have been living under a rock, TikTok is the newest social media app. It used to be called Musical.ly, and now it is the fastest growing social media platform. There's a lot of really interesting aspects to TikTok, and it's actually where a lot of the trending and pop culture references are actually originating. And I speak with Emma from the Smithy Group, as well as Gasper from Punchmark, to talk about how businesses can start to leverage the TikTok platform to start driving interest and brand recognition. It's a really fun talk. It kind of starts to break down some ideas that you could start implementing. So these are all open source, so feel free to take them. And it's a really great talk. This episode is brought to you by Punchmark, the jewelry industry's leading website provider. Join the community of nearly 500 other jewelry stores in choosing Punchmark's easy-to-run and e-commerce-enabled website platform by visiting punchmark.com for your free trial demo. And this episode is brought to you by the Smithy Group, a digital growth agency that helps leaders and businesses dream bigger and achieve multi-generational integrity. Through insights and intelligence, digital marketing, and advertising solutions, they help businesses expand their business and grow their revenue. The Smithy Group has helped hundreds of businesses surpass their goals and believe that whatever your business and whatever your story, they'll make it matter to your audience. A very special thank you goes out to the Edge point of sale system for sponsoring this week's episode, and you'll hear more about them later on the show. Thanks and enjoy. Welcome back, everybody. I'm joined by Emma and Gasper. How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Not too bad.
Gasper's holding up a thumbs up and forgetting we're on a podcast. I appreciate that, though. That's great.
Listen, I was trying to, I didn't want to overstep,
I appreciate it. All right. So one thing that's really cool is you guys are familiar with TikTok. And can you give me an idea of what you use TikTok for in your own personal life? Is it for browsing? Are you uploading on it? What about you, Emma?
I use TikTok basically whenever I'm waiting somewhere in line or just bored or hanging out on the couch and I don't really want to learn about anything. I just kind of want to laugh and do something mindless. And so I just kind of go on there. I find a lot of funny things. I always laugh pretty much every time I go on TikTok. Super fun. I've only uploaded a handful of TikToks myself, but it's a pretty fun platform for me.
Nice. And what kind of TikToks are you uploading? Are they trend ones or are they totally original?
I've done a few using trending sounds and music and stuff, but honestly, I have one that did pretty well. That went pretty viral, and it was literally just me talking about some interaction that I had, and so yeah.
Nice. And Gasper, what about you?
Yeah, I use it both as a viewer and also as a content creator. I've kind of been involved with the nerd community for some time now, and I started most of that on Instagram, and then it transferred over to TikTok, and now TikTok is really the primary platform that I use for creating content.
Yeah. So for everybody listening at home, we have a celebrity on our hands. Gasper, believe it or not, has 30,000 followers on TikTok. So he's doing pretty good.
Yeah. Well, thanks. Look, it's all relative. When you look at people like, Bella Porchu, what's her number now? It's 8 million or something?
Let me look.
It's probably even higher than that. So, look, it's all relative. And I think the nice thing about TikTok in general is that it provides opportunities for smaller creators to get bigger followings. So I think that's just a really big advantage of it in general. You see things with Instagram now or Facebook where it's really hard for creators to reach audiences. And now when you look at the Explore page on Instagram, which is where people would normally go to find new creators, you're seeing the best of the best all the time. You're seeing the people with the top most views, the top most likes. So it's really hard to get an audience on Instagram anymore, but TikTok's not like that. You could scroll through TikTok on your FYP, your For You page, and you'll see people who have a video that's 1 million views and likes or whatever, and you'll see people who it's literally, you're the first view of that user's video. So it's really exciting.
Yeah. I think it's really interesting. And for the people listening, Bella Porch, 72.9 million followers. So there you go.
I was so far off. I said a tenth of that. 72 million. That's crazy.
And what's really interesting, though, is I do think that TikTok is, they all kind of have their own vibe with the algorithm. And I think that algorithm actually paves more for the utility of these apps than the actual even branding or the content themselves. Because I think that YouTube does not reward early starting creators at all. Like you can go in and upload content into the void for years and still be in the beginning. Whereas, and same thing with Twitch. I mean, you're going to be stuck at the bottom of Twitch forever with 0 to 1 to 2 people. But I think that TikTok is just, it seems like they're just saying, we want people to be discovered and we want you to see these, more homebrew kind of, is that the right term? Like these people that are just doing it for fun as well as the promotional aspect. So I guess, I mean, we're already a little bit deeper into the hole than I had thought we were going to be when we start to float this out there. But Emma, can you start to explain what the TikTok app is? As if someone has never downloaded it and never opened it on their phone, can you start to explain what this app is?
Yeah, so the app first came out as Musical.ly, and it was all based kind of around music. A lot of people would put their songs on there and do a lot of different sorts of music videos, and then it evolved into TikTok. And the main thing at the beginning, again, people used it for music videos. You can take songs and then make videos around that and replicate videos using the same sounds. And so there's also a lot of different effects. So it was pretty easy to make something that looked like a music video on this app. And so then it kind of evolved into something that's just videos in general. It's all a lot based on sound, but you can do a lot of funny things and pranks and tutorials and learning, and you can show people about your life and you can talk, and it can be a personal thing. And so it's this big platform, very video based. There's lots of fun effects. It's based around tons of trends, and you just can slide forever, and it's all audio play videos.
And one thing I think that's very important is that the videos, I think, are anywhere between is it 6 seconds to like under a minute? I don't even know what the span is. I thought it used to always have to be 10 seconds, but it's not anymore, right?
15 seconds is your max for video, and then you can do multiple videos stringed together to up to 60 seconds.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you could do a full 60-second video. I think the minimum requirement now is 3 seconds. It won't let you upload anything below 3.
It's, oh man, and the term algorithm, and we're just going to refer to it all the time, but the term algorithm, it learns what you like. And so it's one of those apps that actually has, it ages in reverse. I think Benjamin Button version, where it starts out kind of crappy and then it gets better with age. And again, if you are watching it and they'll present you with like dancing TikToks. Everyone knows, those dancing ones with those trendy dances. And then they put on then there's a dog one. And if you thumbs up the dog one, they'll probably show you another dog one. And before you know it, I know some people, their TikTok stream is only dog videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things about TikTok that differentiates it from other platforms is it gets the most engagement hands down than any other platform. And that's always the goal of retailers and brands when they're on Instagram is they're trying to get engagement. And on TikTok, you're very incentivized to engage and like the things that you actually like because you're going to see more of that. So it's almost like you're just cultivating your own feed that's going to entertain you and use your time and give you the most things that you're going to want to see with the time that you spend on that platform.
Yeah. Gasper, do you find, as a content creator on there, do you find that you need to be putting out those interactions as well in order to start to attract them as well? Because I know that that's true for Instagram. They say that you need to be putting out the interactions like liking and commenting and favoriting in order to get the algorithm to pick you up and start promoting you.
Yeah, I don't know that that's the same. Honestly, there's a lot about the TikTok algorithm that people don't know about. It's not really very clear. I'm not sure exactly, actually, if it like rewards you based on liking comments and replying and everything. I do know that it does reward consistency.
Yeah.
But it's also possible that that's just like the more shots you take, the more you're gonna maybe make. You know what I mean? It's like every video is a lottery ticket. And you don't know if it's going to hit or not. So it's like,
yeah,
I'm not sure.
So speaking of that, I mean, you had a video in particular that kind of popped off. Can you walk me through what it's like, and then Emma, maybe afterwards too, what it's like having I don't want to call it viral, but like a good one. Can you explain to me kind of how that got picked up and what that growth looked like?
Yeah. So like essentially what does happen is when you make a video, it'll be like your video content gets pushed to a certain group of probably like your followers or new viewers, whatever. And if it does well in that group, then it gets pushed to a bigger group. And if it does well in that group, then it continues to expand and expand. So it's really exciting when that happens, like you never really know when that's going to happen. And sometimes you'll see something and it's like, oh man, this is going to pop off. It just got to 1,000 views, and then it just gets to 2,000 and then 3,000, then it stops. It's like, that's as far as it goes. So it's exciting when it gets to, like 100,000. You're like, oh, that's crazy, but you never know, I think. And it's like, again, completion and engagement, like Emma was saying, like it's really important. They say that if someone can complete your video, that's like the best thing that could happen, because then once the completion happens, it gets pushed to more people, and it's so that's really important.
Is that kind of what you had with that, Emma?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I had one video that had like 88K views, which for me, like I have like 6 videos. So I was like, this is a huge deal. And I was like, why did it get so many views? It was literally just like me talking about some Hinge date I had gone on.
Nice.
And I had done hashtag Hinge, and I was like, maybe that's just a trending hashtag. And I think that honestly had to be the reason, because it was just like this little video of me talking. But yeah, it was like that. It just like every day it just kept climbing and getting more views. And then at the end, it just kind of like capped off and stopped, and like no one likes it anymore. But yeah.
And can you feel that pickup? Like, can you notice when something is getting the bump, or is it kind of it's just doing abnormally, or it's doing well for longer?
You can definitely feel when things are hitting the bump. You're seeing the likes and you're getting a lot of followers. And I would say, like, in certain platforms, every sort of post has a lifespan. So like Pinterest, the lifespan is like 2 weeks, and Instagram, the lifespan's closer to like 48 hours. And TikTok, I would say the lifespan of something is around like probably 3 to 4 days. That's the window you're going to see those likes and follows come up, at least in my experience.
Yeah, if I can add to that, interestingly enough, like you definitely can see those bumps. And I've monitored my videos sometimes and just like went back to see what the views are. And it's like there will be a huge surge of just like views. And then you'll see like a bunch of likes, a bunch of comments. You'll get followers coming in and whatever. The interesting thing, though, is that videos can wake up. You could post a video and like 3 weeks later, it'll start just getting a bunch of likes and comments again, or it'll resurge even, like the Skyrim one I did, which it's a video that I made essentially like had another resurgence. It's like it kind of calmed down for a second, and then like a week or 2 later, I just got a bunch more likes and comments. So maybe it was just like it needed that one more like to push it to the next group of people. I don't know exactly what it was, but it's like it got another one, and it's like, oh, this is happening again now. It just piled on. It's interesting.
Yeah. So Emma had mentioned when she was kind of describing the utility and the interface of TikTok is this recurring, what are they even called? Like the sound snippets. And you can see them, if you open up TikTok, you can see them kind of scrolling across the bottom. And this is how these trends kind of start to pop up. And I know some people's TikTok accounts they just find these trends as soon as they happen, and they make one using that trend. Usually a little bit lower quality, but honestly, maybe it's the shots. You got to take a whole bunch of shots, and then you'll get picked up a couple times. But do you find for someone starting out, is it better to kind of follow those trends and see if you can just jump on one, or is it better to be doing original content?
I think having a trending sound sometimes also, because you can control the volume of your original volume of like whatever you're recording versus like the added sound that you use. So a lot of times people will actually like put in a trending sound as an added sound and turn the volume all the way down to 0. And what that does is it makes you part of that sound, even though you're not using it at all. And then it actually helps get engagement, because if a sound is trending, it'll show up more on the FYP. So like it actually does help to be a part of that. And original content, I think 9 times out of 10 original content is harder to get to that like viral stage than it is with trending sounds.
Wow, that's very interesting. Because to me, I downloaded TikTok when we pitched this idea, when we were like, oh, okay, we should do an episode on TikTok because we have some jewelers that are interested in getting into TikTok. I was like, all right, I'm going to download it on my phone. So I did. And the first thing I was like trying to do, like, what would my strategy be off the rip? Like, how can I be how would I try to dominate this? And the first step I would do is I would just find other successful people and then just start to do what they do, which like sounds really hacky, but honestly, that's what a lot of people do, and see if I could just churn out a whole bunch of them. But it's interesting to say that, original content is kind of not suppressed, but like just doesn't get the boost as much.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is if you make original content that is under 15 seconds, and if you have it in mind that like this is an app where people use sounds and repeat them So if you can make a viral sound in under 15 seconds, then like I have a video like that too, where it's like my audio is original, but people use it over and over again, and that drives traffic back to that original video. So it's like, if you can capitalize on that, that's also a good strategy, right?
I guess that's one of the things is it's so clever, like the items that actually do get picked up though, like the oh no, and then it's like no one gets an instruction booklet on how to follow along to the trend. Everyone just instinctively knows. I think that's so creative. It's so clever.
That's one of the interesting things I feel like about TikTok is that you can make better TikToks the more TikTok you watch. At least in my experience, like there's just so much inspiration. And, you know, when you first hop on the platform, I'm like, I haven't the faintest idea how to make this TikTok. And then my younger brothers are like all over it and they're like constantly pushing out content. Like, how do you come up with these ideas? But it's just a ton of inspiration.
Yeah, it's the epitome of creativity, in my opinion. I think it's very tempting to look at this through like a very bitter and like kind of hateful sort of lens, because I think that the idea of TikTok, it's only, 8 to 17-year-olds that are just like making these cringe videos on the internet. But to me, I'm like, no, like it talks about the idea of like these kind of like, taking ideas in collaboration, almost like an exquisite corpse, as they say in the design world, where you draw the head of something and you leave it to someone else to draw the body. It kind of seems like it sort of ties in. But I wanted to talk about brands that we think we're doing well. But first, we're going to go away for this word from our sponsor. Support for this week's episode comes from The Edge. The Edge is the jewelry industry's leading point-of-sale system, though you've probably already heard about how amazing they are. They're in the business to help independent jewelers succeed in an ever-evolving retail environment where technology plays a major role. Their promise to their clients is to never let them get caught in technological or functional time warp. The Edge develops their software on state-of-the-art technology and adds features and functionality in the best interest of their users. In the words of Edge founder Dick Abbott, our biggest reward is the success of our store owners. To learn more about the Edge point-of-sale system and all the ways that can accelerate your business approach into an omni-channel solution, visit theedgeforjewelers.com. Thanks, back to the show. So we're back and I'm still joined by MA and Gasper. So guys, let's talk about brands that we think are doing well when it comes to TikTok and actually are going to be that you feel okay with engaging with, because I know that there's a real difference between posting on a social media platform and having it feel natural. Which brands have you seen? Anything in mind?
I love the San Diego Zoo's TikTok.
Yes, that's the kind of stuff I'm looking for.
Amazing. I don't know if you guys have ever followed it, but it's super educational. It all roots back to their just like mission of conservation. And it's also just like so funny. Like, where else would I see these like quick little videos of animals and just like get this inside scoop? I would have to like watch a whole movie on like National Geographic or something, and it's just like short and sweet. And I don't want to watch like 2 hours about cheetahs, but I totally want to watch like 60 seconds about cheetahs. And it's a fantastic Instagram, and they've like have a pretty good following because of their TikTok.
And why is it that works for you in your if you had to surmise why you feel okay with actually watching technically branded content? Is it because it popped up very again naturally feeling on your FYP, or is it something else?
I would say it does. It feels pretty natural to me. Like, it's educational and pretty funny. And that's a pretty rare combo. Like, usually if you watch something on TV, it's either going to be like educational or funny.
Yeah.
And it's both because it's short. It keeps my attention span. And that's just like, it's different. It's not the kind of content you would see on other platforms. So,
yeah. Gasper, anything from you?
I think, I don't know if this counts as a brand. I don't know if you guys have heard of Men with the Pot, but they started actually like selling knives and stuff, because what they do is like they go into I don't know where they live, but it's this beautiful forest, and they go out there and they cook food on like on a open fire.
Yes, no, I followed that too. Yeah,
and it's just so satisfying to watch, and it's just like
yes.
And now they're turning it into e-commerce. You know, they're like making their own thing out of it, and it's awesome. But it's just so satisfying. And the other one I'd say is There's some, it's the animal thing. I think that really works out.
Yeah.
Apex Wolves, which is like a shelter that's that literally has wolves. But it's like these things that you'd never see. Okay, for example, I'm kind of like bouncing all around. But this isn't a brand, but this is a guy who just lays bricks for a living, and I follow his account on TikTok, and it's just so satisfying because you're seeing something that you would never see otherwise.
Yes.
And it's just like, even though it's so simple, it's just so satisfying to watch, and it's so effective because it's like calming. It's like therapeutic.
Yeah. And I think that becomes the focus if you start to think about it in like an abstract way. The focus is not on the product. The focus is on the feeling behind it almost. In the second half of the show, I definitely want to see if we can try to tie in like actionable advice and see how could a jeweler do this. And to me, it's like, it's not about making the jewelry the focus. It's about making kind of like the feeling or the experience of the jewelry, that one, the focus. So what does that mean? We're going to have to kind of spitball a couple of ideas, but it's so interesting how you're like the knife people, the men with pots. It's like they're selling the knife, and the knife is in all the photos, but they don't make it like, here's this knife, it's really nice. Like, oh, it's got these specs. Here's me cutting up with the steak. It's like, no, we're gonna cook a meal, and it's gonna be amazing. Also, I'm using this knife.
Yeah, exactly right.
I think the approach on TikTok, it can't just be like, you can't go on there and give like your corporate mission and think people are going to resonate with your content. Like, you kind of have to go on there, and your approach has to be like very authentic and something that's going to connect with them. Like, the TikToks I love are things that like kind of connect to something in my childhood. Like, I saw a really funny one about this H2O mermaid show, and this guy was like impersonating their accents. It was just so funny, and it was like this distant memory from my childhood, and it really resonated with me, even though I don't think about like that TV show ever anymore, and I never would watch it now. But it resonates with nostalgia, or it's very satisfying, or it teaches you something, or it can't just be about the brand. It has to have some other way to connect with the audience.
And I'm a big fan of esports, and I'm trying to get more into esports. And one thing, my favorite company is this company called 100 Thieves. And one thing, I've mentioned them a million times. People are going to become fans of them over this podcast, trust me. But one thing that 100 Thieves does that's really good is they're a collection of pro gamers, but also content creators. And what they're always doing on their various platforms, especially on TikTok, and I think they're called clips on YouTube or bites, I'm not sure. But these very short videos is they're always highlighting the personalities of their content creators. And again, it's not about 100 Thieves, the brand, it's about the people who make the brand, which is this coalition of people. And in the past, maybe 1 or 2 episodes, I spoke with Evelyn, and she had talked about the concept of having influencers on your brand, on your part of your sales force. And this could be a really clever way instead of highlighting, again, the jewelry, you're highlighting the person, which makes the jewelry shopping experience so special, which is the salesperson. Maybe that would be, let's transition into talking about how could jewelry stores leverage it? That might be one, having your salesperson start to show kind of and shine their personality on TikTok, whatever that means.
Yeah, I know a big trend in the retail space in general is like the clothing haul, the try on trend. And people will come and they'll just open their bag, like their package from something that they bought, and they'll try it all on and show people what they bought. And like, just describing that doesn't sound very appealing at all, but TikTok, the videos just play and there's catchy music, and I just find myself watching them. And a lot of times, like, I saw one of like this girl showing her stuff from Zara, and I was like, actually, Zara has some cute stuff this season. I should actually go over there. Like, it doesn't sound like something you would watch. And that was an ad described. That doesn't sound appealing, but it is on TikTok. And it's just like a person showing something that they bought in their average day-to-day life. And it's pretty appealing.
Yeah. You can put some Sunshine Lover by Petite Biscuit on, and like really good tropical vibes. They open up the box and they're like, take out their necklace or whatever, they put it on. And how does that make the influencer feel? And that's kind of like, boom, you got a video that's not terrible. There you go.
Yeah. I think there's a lot to be said about like even, because I know a lot of people we make websites for too, like they have stores where they make custom jewelry I think it would be really interesting to see that process and to see like close-ups, you know what I mean? Like just set the camera there and like set a diamond or like cut something, you know what I mean? Like that would be so satisfying, I think, to watch and so interesting. And especially if you make it, you know what else people love is like before and after. You do just like, here are the materials and this is the final product in 1 minute.
Yeah.
Baby, that is a video right there that I would watch. I would watch that.
That's a great
I would watch
idea
that right now. You know what I mean?
I think also with the jewelry industry, it's such a niche and it's such a hashtag. I mean, people who are wanting to get engaged, they might look up like hashtag engagement rings on TikTok. Like that's for a lot of younger people, that might be the first place they look for just really out there, unique pieces. And so if you embrace that niche, if you use those hashtags, you can walk through the process, like the 3 things you need to know when you're engagement ring shopping, and like boom, 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 boom. And that's educational and you can root it back to your business. I think that would be a pretty strong route for retailers to take.
And those numeric-based episodes or numeric-based titles actually do really well in all platforms in the algorithms because people are looking for that kind of stuff and it's very easy to digest. I think having visual examples, so like 3 things to look for when you're picking an engagement ring: the quality of the diamond, and then it's like show the gamut if you have it in your store. Like show a really high quality diamond, show a really low quality diamond if that exists, and put it next to each other, see if they can see it, and then cut away to the ring setting and then to whatever. That is the kind of fast-paced content that I think would just thrive in TikTok. Man, great idea. Oh, we're just full of these.
Even things like how to decide how to do your ring stacking. Like don't stack something with 1 stone next to something with no stones or something like that. You know, just different, how to style yourself. And someone who's like really good at jewelry stacking can give you the whole lowdown on her like summer jewelry collection versus her winter jewelry collection and things like that. Like people are very open to niches and building up their fashion selection. A lot of people want a guide and someone to show them how to do it.
Jewelry that does well at the beach. Put that one out there.
Totally, yeah.
Jewelry that I would wear to a baseball game. Put that out there. And then go to a baseball game and film like the ending clip of that. That would be bang.
Yeah, totally. I mean, and you could also incorporate that into trends as well. Like I know there was a trend recently that was like the things that I would wear if I was a cartoon character. Yes. And it would be like night out and like this is my workout clothes, like this is my slumber party, whatever. But like do that with jewelry. You know, it's like this is what you'd wear to, you know, a night out. This is, you know what I mean? Like you could translate that too, because jewelry has personality as well, right? So like you put that in there as well.
Engagement rings that Disney princesses would pick. And then you pick like 1 or 2 or 3. Yeah.
Such a big market for that. Totally. If you want to do something under 15 seconds, which is always like, you know, viral material, under 15 seconds is best if you want it because you want it, you know, attention span. But just like so much stuff is sparkly and fun to look at, you know, just put it under a light and just, totally. Awesome. We love shiny diamonds or moissanite, whatever it may be, like, you know, just like sparkles. Sparkles are pretty.
Exactly. Yeah. There's also you can do those branded filters, like those AR filters. That's something, I mean, you can do that on Instagram too, but creating those branded filters, if it's something around like trying on jewelry or just something, like you said, just this beautiful and crazy aesthetic. There's so many athletes on TikTok that just want to see something beautiful. And so there's definitely a big opportunity if you make a filter that's branded around your store or your brand.
And just think about it. If a user follows your account, you're going to be showing up in their My Follows, and that content, your brand will be top of mind all the time. And not only that, they know that you are, you know, I hate the term hip, but like topical and understand what is going on with the fashion industry and the luxury industry. And if they ever have an opportunity to buy into that, I mean, a lot of TikTok users are younger, but they're not going to be young forever. They're going to eventually have money, hopefully. Then they'll think of you and be able to try to spend with you. I think that there's a huge market availability for it.
Totally. I mean, there is, because no one is doing it.
No one.
That's why. You get someone who actually watches the platform, and that's like the big thing, right? Like Emma was saying, like the more you know about a platform, the more you're going to be able to do with it. So it's just like watch TikToks, try to translate it to how you can make it work with your business, and you will be one of the only jewelers who are doing this, you know?
Cornered.
And I think right now a lot of people are older generations are like, oh, TikTok, I don't know, that's just the Gen Zers. But if you think about it, every single platform starts with the teens. And then it becomes like Instagram started with the teens too. And for a large part, so did Facebook. And now, you know, it's everyone's using it. It's very universalized. So I think, you know, being intimidated and thinking it's irrelevant because all the Gen Zers are on it is not super accurate. But then also the barrier to entry to TikTok is not that hard. Like, it's not very hard to produce a video. It's not very costly. If anything, the videos that have the least setup and seem the most authentic are the things that are going to do better on that platform. So, and the effects are all there. If you want to make your video cool and zazzy, it's like literally a button. It's pretty easy. And the music's all there and the trends are there and the audience is there who wants to engage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the other thing about that is Gen Z and millennials are not a bad target audience for people who are going to get married soon.
Totally, you know, like agree.
Bridal is huge. That's what most people sell, right? So it's like that's a perfect audience. If not now, then in the next couple of years, right?
And they're going to be around for a while. They're not like it's, a lot of people are like targeting these older folks. And like, not that that's wrong, but like, say you convert someone for, when they're 20 and they start being interested in your store and they buy their first fashion set from you. Well, they're going to be buying stuff for a long time and hopefully they keep returning back to your store. And like the tail on that TikTok, I can't hype it enough. A big fish in a very small pond or just a fish in a pond, be able to dominate. Let's give them one more. I'm thinking different types of jewelry repair. So I love watch repair. So I love watching them like take all the springs and cogs out of the watches. You know what I'm talking about? That's cool. But I'm talking like they put the diamond out, take the diamond out, clean the diamond, put the diamond back in. This would just all have to be, your phone has a great video camera. You put it up on it on a little tripod and then have them put bending the shanks back onto the diamond. I would watch that. You condense that into a 15-second video. I would watch that. Definitely.
Oh, yeah. And it's consistent content. That's the other thing, right? Talking about consistency in that platform. It's like, that's something you can make and record. You could do 4 or 5 or 6 and then have content for a whole week,
One more bonus thing. I think when people who aren't in the jewelry industry, when they think about it, there's a big knowledge gap. And, jewelry is so expensive. People don't know, like, am I getting gypped? Am I paying way too much for 14 carats or this kind of diamond? And I think just kind of giving like a breakdown, like this is the general range of like how this much would cost. And this is how we see if things are authentic and these gemstones are authentic. And this is how you would know. And 14 karat gold does this and 10 karat gold does this. And you definitely want 18 karat for this. And that kind of education, there's a lot of people who actually don't know. And they're intimidated of buying fine jewelry because they don't want to get ripped off.
Yeah. Have someone explain, all right, here's the difference between silver and platinum. Silver tarnishes, platinum doesn't. Just like go into that kind of stuff and it'd be fascinating.
Right.
But so many Zoomers are looking for internships over the summer. Just give them your TikTok account and just have them have fun.
Literally. Yeah. Yeah. They would love that.
Yeah. At least we think that they would. And pay them. Okay, there you go.
We think they would love that.
Guys, I think you guys did a really good job. We gave them at least 10 good ideas. If someone makes an idea from this, definitely send this over or post it on our Facebook page. You can find us on Facebook in the Loupe. We really appreciate it. But very special thank you to Emma and Gasper for joining me. This was great. And a very special thank you goes to the Edge point of sale system for sponsoring this week's episode and making this all happen. I think we'll be back next week with a heist story. So that should be really good. Thank you guys again. Bye. Hey, thanks for listening. Leave us a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts and remember to subscribe. It really helps us grow. Thank you so much. See you next week.